Greetings, dear ones. When I was very young, and my sister, who is 6 years older than I, was probably, 10 or 12, we saved up for a year in order to buy my mother a jewelry box. One of those wonderful contraptions that opens up in a variety of ways and has all kinds of cubby holes. And I would once in a while sneak into my parents' bedroom and go through my mother's jewelry box. It was black leather tooled with gold and felt like a very, very precious place to keep treasures. There were 3 items in that jewelry box that fascinated me. One was a silver brooch that was a turtle, which she had inherited from her mother, and I loved that turtle dearly. The second was an American eagle, wings spread, silver, with porcelain red, white, and blue coloring that had mostly worn off. And I think even as a child I knew that there was something about the symbol of the eagle tarnished that meant something. And the third and most significant piece of jewelry in that box for me was a tiny silver shoe with a hole in the sole. Now, I knew the story of that shoe from early childhood. That shoe was an award that was given out to people who knocked on, I believe it was a minimum of 500 doors, as advocates for the candidacy of Adlai Stevenson of Illinois, where I grew up, for the presidency of the United States. And when I held that little tiny silver shoe in my hand, I realized that my mother had been a very serious activist at a certain point in her life. I think it inspired me to live into like activism. When I think about the altar to democracy that we're building tomorrow in anticipation of the election and in recognition of the season of Dia de los Muertos, as we gather photographs and images and memorabilia that helps to inspire our continuing efforts in becoming a genuinely inclusive, democratic country. I think of that shoe. I think of the fact that years ago I ran for school board back in Oakland, and that I walked the neighborhoods knocking on so many doors, and that sometimes someone would answer the door and look through the screen, and it was inevitably an older black woman. I think I was walking during the day, and many people were at work, and she would say to me, "What do you want?" And I would say, "I want to help our children have better schools." And she would say, "Oh, I want that too. Would you like a cup of tea?" And I would be allowed into the inner sanctum of her life and of her home, and we would drink a cup of tea and talk about the children. I know that meant something to her. I don't know that she recognized how much it meant to me to be allowed into her life. That moment of genuine proximity, of common interest, of common endeavor. That's what we renew when we engage fully in the rituals of our democracy. I am so proud of so many of you who report that you are writing letters, that you are out greeting, standing on street corners with signs, always, of course, being careful, but nonetheless being involved. We know that the Unitarian Universalist Association, through its UU the Vote project, has already touched the lives of millions of voters in encouraging them to get out and enter that ritual, to renew the commitment, to renew the possibility of a nation which is yet to be, in James Baldwin's words, realized. Friends, it's time to realize our nation. Bless you for your efforts. It's an act of sacred honor. Thank you.